Right now, real estate agents are turning off their marketing tools, firing their lead providers, and stopping the beg for referrals are tripling their business. That's because this year marks a permanent shift that transforms the industry from transactional lead generation to relationships branding. In this video, I'll share precisely why this is happening and also draw insights from working with over 800 real estate agents, ranging from top 10 teams in the US to mid-sized teams and also new agents alike. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how a few tweaks to your workflow as a realtor can add a lot more listings while chasing a lot less. And additionally, you'll be able to now, if you grasp these concepts, be miles ahead of competing agents. Now, before we dive in and break down how relationships branding works and looks like, let's zoom out a little bit and look at what actually brought us to this place in the first place. So a few years back, obviously a lot of lead generation methods realtors were using were widely profitable. So you had companies like Zillow, Market Leader, Zinc, where you could buy these leads from, you name it, almost any CRM or lead provider out there, and you just turn it on. And you started to get these leads that were really good and you were able to convert them at a profitable rate. And the market was really booming, right? Especially when the interest rates were really, really low, was really booming. A lot of agents had not really caught up to these methods, and these leads were plentiful. There was a lot of them and there was like responsive leads. And that was something that buyers and sellers obviously hadn't seen before, right? The interest rates in the market we had. However, obviously now this year, right, the market has really changed. There's so much more competition. The market is slowing down because the interest rates and the economy is slowing down. And more informed, that skeptical type of consumers have really flipped the scripts on real estate agents. And buyers and sellers are tired of being treated like that, kind of like a number in a funnel, right? When you call them like ready to go, right, and all that stuff, they were just chasing after them. They're craving more personalized service. They're creating more genuine connections. And traditional lead generation tactics are really losing their edge. So I talk to real estate agents every day. There's so many agents that have been used to Zillow or used to certain services, but they're really leaving agents scrambling to adapt. And on top of that, platforms like Zillow, they have completely changed their model, right? So most real estate agents I talk to, they're usually using the Zillow Flex program, which is taking 40% of their commission checks, which again is slowly but surely taking realtors away from the marketplace. Now, the days of easy, scalable lead generation are fading, right? Clients are demanding that trust, they're demanding that authenticity, they're demanding ongoing value. Things like automated tools or just a lead generation platform cannot deliver. And that's why agents that are focusing on relationships are outpacing these traditionalists in terms of lead generation a lot. The traditional old transactional mindset, right, is really fading away. Those people that are still stuck there are losing that market share. Now, the antidote to this is relationships branding. So it's all about building long-term, trust-based relationships instead of chasing one-off deals quickly. And it positions you as a trusted advisor and go-to resource for all things real estate, not just as a salesperson. So why this is by far the superior method, you may be wondering, like, why is this better to get listings now compared to these other things that worked before? Well, number one, it boosts client loyalty. It boosts retention, right? It also drives referrals because you're getting word of mouth through your marketing. It also sets you apart in a crowded, commoditized market. I mean, let's be real, there's still a lot of real estate agents. We have to stand out. And it also builds sustainable business that does not rely on a platform or rely on endless lead chasing. Because let's be real again, right? These platforms, they want you to take you out of business, right? So how to make that shift? You may be wondering, well, right now I'm buying leads from Zillow, right? Or right now I'm buying leads from this and this lead generation platform, but like how to actually make it happen, right? Well, first of all, here's how you're going to implement the relationships branding strategy starting today, right? So number one is to establish processes to connect with your existing sphere of influence and your database. And right now you may be wondering, well, wasn't this about generating leads? So I was thinking it's like lead generation, right? Well, the truth is, like we talked earlier, right? Most of your deals are going to come from referrals and sphere of influence as a real estate agent. The thing is, you're probably not getting as many referral and sphere of influence based deals as you could be. And the best place to start from is number one, social media. So make sure you're posting social media content in front of them that is authentic, unique, customized to you and your local market. Now, on top of social media content, engage on their stuff on social media. It's a social media platform, right? So it's important that you engage on their stuff. You're making comments, right? You're leaving good, positive things, and you're sending emails that feel like you're sending them a one-on-one email. So real, authentic email written by you. Now, additionally, you want to provide them additional unsolicited valuable resources. So these are things like equity reports, sharing opportunities in the market, give them value, and then ask if they know somebody that would be a good fit for your services, right? Somebody that is looking to sell, looking to buy, looking to make a move, which again acts as a referral generation source. Now, going back to what we talked about earlier, right? Most people are only focused on new leads, people that are only looking to business right now. But if you can do this, you will get the warmest lead because they're coming either from your sphere or they're going to be a referral, right? So first of all, your loyalty, right? Your engagement of the lead will be so much more better. You save so much time as far as having to chase people. And then also you will save a lot of money, right? Because these are free things. You can do them right now without spending any money. Now, secondly, one-to-many relationships building. That is the second stage to really start implementing this method. And what is one-to-many relationships building? Well, if you think about if you buy a lead from Zillow or you buy a Realtor.com lead, right? You call that lead. What you're technically doing is you're building a relationship one-on-one, right? You're calling them and you're talking. But what we want to do with this way of generating business is to actually do relationships building one-to-many. And the beauty of it is that it builds likability and trust at scale. You have thousands of people see you, and there's a couple phenomena socially you should be aware of that have been studied. First of all is parasocial phenomena. What is parasocial phenomena? Well, if you think about any actor you know or any big person you know that is like a celebrity, right? You think you know them, right? If you think about, let's say, Trump, or I think about Biden, right? President of the United States, everybody feels like they know the president of the United States. They know what they're like. They know what they do, right? And obviously, everybody has an opinion of them, right? But typically, about 50% of people have a positive opinion, right? That's how they became the president. So everybody feel like they know the president, right? But the president doesn't really know the whole country, right? One on one. So the parasocial phenomena is what we call that personal brand, right? So every person that is that celebrity, let's say you look at a big sports person, right? Maybe Alex Ovechkin, right? Or you look at somebody that's kind of like out there, right? People feel like they know them and they have that personal brand. Now, the same applies to your real estate business. Obviously, we don't need to become the next president of the United States. We don't need to become the next sports person. We don't need to become like this large celebrity. But you become a celebrity in your local market, right? Maybe you have a small city, 50,000 people, 100,000 people. If you become a celebrity for them, for 5,000 people, right? Even a couple thousand people, right? That by its own will create a situation where you have so many referrals, right? Because you have 2,000 people that are basically sold on working with you. You're the number one agent. They know who you are. They remember you, right? So the business goes to you. And so that is what the parasocial phenomena is. Now, there's also something, an effect that really ties into this parasocial phenomena, which is mere exposure effect. What mere exposure effect is that the more often we see something, the more often we also like that thing, or the more that we like that thing. If you think about a brand like Coca-Cola, right? A lot of people select Coca-Cola because they're very aware about the brand. They've seen it since their childhood, right? They've seen the Santa Claus ads, and every time you look at a sporting event, right, there's always Coca-Cola ads over there. And there's a reason why Coca-Cola spends a lot of money. I think at this point they're spending $4 billion or more every single year on their advertising, right? It's because they're driving that mere exposure effect. The more you see something, the more are people going to like you, and therefore the more people are going to trust you, and therefore the more people are going to want to work with you. And this then ties into your likability bias, right? That's why we're creating a content. That's why you want to be seen in front of people, is because if you show people that you're just like them, right? You're not some real estate agent robots, right? You're a real person. You're going on barbecue parties or you're going on fishing, whatever you're doing. If you show that through authentic content, we'll be able to build that mere exposure effect. Stay top of mind, right? But also build likability. Now, also, if you share your stories by telling people stories about your life and showcasing the way you live, that is why it works. And that's why so many people, if they don't know this, they're like, hey, this person is posting a picture about a dog. Like, how does that generate me real estate business, right? Well, that's how, right? Same as Coca-Cola. It's not about the soda drink. How good is the soda drink, right? But there's Santa Claus. Santa Claus is driving around a truck, and maybe you have seen Coca-Cola giving out free Cokes, right? What is going on? Why are they giving out free Cokes? This is exactly why. And that's exactly what the most popular, biggest companies in the world are doing. So if it works for them, it's going to work for growing your real estate business. Now, obviously, there is a mechanism, right? We're not going to record a Santa Claus ad for your real estate business, right? And we don't have $4 billion to spend on advertising, right? So you want to have a marketing mechanism that allows you to do this cost effectively. So what you're going to be doing on a practical level is Facebook posts, Instagram stories, email broadcasts, retargeting ads, and obviously a good one, if you're open to doing video, is also doing YouTube videos. Now, if you want to see examples of posts and ads that are getting our clients listings right now, just comment real estate content below this video, and my team will look up your email from your YouTube profile, and we'll send you a free resource on this. So again, comment real estate content under this video. We'll send that over if you like that. Now, main point of this: ditch automated content, ditch templated content, ditch generic stuff. Start thinking like Coca-Cola. Start thinking like Apple. Now, this ties into our third part. So third part is going to be long-term thinking, right? Because instead of putting all of your efforts into trying to find people that are ready to go now, we want to focus on becoming the trusted advisor for homeowners before they even need a realtor. So this is similar to, let's say you had a Coca-Cola company, you were to run a brand, right? You wouldn't just say, hey, buy Coca-Cola now, right? You wouldn't do that, right? That doesn't make any sense, because the Coca-Cola will be around a year later, it's gonna be around 5 years later, it's gonna be around 20 years later, right? So obviously, we need to get people to buy Coca-Cola much longer in the future. And same applies to your real estate business, right? Is that if you think long term, you're gonna be able to build much more effective marketing, and you're gonna be able to get those people that are gonna be doing business 6 months later, 12 months later, 2 years down the road. So check in with past clients regularly. Think about checking in as like personalized message, also holiday cards, small tokens of appreciation. Those are really, really good. And keep the relationship alive even when there's no immediate deal going on. And obviously make sure to not destroy that relationship through too much sales, too much pushiness, right? If you're only relying on your sphere and you have to reach out to your sphere through phone like a lot of times in like a salesy way, make sure, again, you don't do that, right? Make sure you have other ways to, again, grow relationships, add more relationships, so you have that pipeline. That's like the whole point of building your personal brand. Now, number 4 is use tech to enhance relationships, right? Because while you may be a good person to do relationship building, keeping up relationships, make sure you're actually tracking your client details. So birthdays, preferences, past conversations for that personal touch, and focus on managing relationships, not just leads. That's going to allow you to really be able to crank up those referrals. Now, obviously, the 5th part is to be real, which is the whole core point of this video, is that we don't want to be that real estate robot that just calls leads, closes deals, and that's it, right? We want to be a real person, because a lot of real estate businesses are like these local small businesses and that are really actually built on community. So a lot of other people wanting to work with them, right? Knowing them and those sorts of things. So authenticity is what builds trust also online. So it's not like you go online and it's like a completely different world where now these rules that apply face to face won't apply, right? So that's the whole point. Is right now, if you're like, okay, I'm going to use ChatGPT and I'm going to make a post, and you put your like a robot post on social media, it's not like that wouldn't be weird, right? It would still be weird if you go to a barbecue party and you talk like a robot. It's the same exact thing, right? But if you do the opposite, right? If you go to a barbecue party, you tell some nice stories, you crack around some jokes, you bring a bottle of wine, right? You start building those relationships. The same applies to social media, right? You'll be able to really grow them and keep them. And then when it's time to sell or buy for them or somebody they know, they'll refer you business just like they would in real life. So I guess like the main point about this point is that whatever you're doing already face to face is exactly the same thing you want to do on social media. You just want to have strategic ways of doing it, keep track of it, and learn the nuances of these different social media skills. Because once you make this shift from that transactional marketing to relationship building, you'll get a lot more listings with less hustle, less chasing on your end. Because number one, your loyal clients will return and refer you to others, growing your business organically. So you won't have to spend so much time prospecting for new clients or paying for leads or paying for companies. So your profit margins are also tighter and you spend less time chasing. And number two is that in the market of a lot of real estate agents, like let's be real, there's so many generic realtors out there. If you become that person that builds relationships, that becomes your edge, that becomes your brand, right? And you'll cultivate that reputation of being that trusted realtor. And let's be real, a lot of real estate markets are small. If you live in Santa Monica, right, there is only so much like that community is there, right? Or if you live in Harrisonburg, Virginia, right, there is that community, right? And if you start spamming people, you start like doing hardcore sales tactics, the word will get around. So you have to be somebody that is really being able to build these relationships, and it's a better way of doing business in general, right? You just have better positive outcomes, right, as opposed to negative outcomes. Now, number three is that your relationships with your market shifts, right? Because if you have a market shift, like market going down or economy going down, lead generation tools falter then, right? Because then, okay, Zillow raises their costs or you get less leads coming from Zillow because you're relying on them, they get less leads, so you also get leads. But if you're in control of your relationships, that's going to allow you, again, to stay top of mind and then allow you to make that lead generation more consistent and more predictable. Now, nurturing relationships beats the burnout of constant prospecting, and the shift to relationships branding is the future of real estate. So, if you'd like to get more help with exactly how to build your relationships in your exact market, and you'd like to know, okay, what are you doing now that you can shift to something else to bring you a bigger return, I'm going to put a link down below where you can book a free strategy call. Click there. It's going to go through a survey. It's going to make sure that you're qualified for this. And then if you are, you can schedule a call in our calendar. We're going to personally hop on a call, analyze your marketing systems, and create a game plan for this year so that then you can actually build a personal brand and build relationships that can allow you to really hit it out of the ballpark and really grow your business through relationships branding as opposed to chasing people around.